Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chris and Andre Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Chris and Andre Show. Man, it seems like the intro went a little bit longer today for some reason.
That is literally the exact same length that it's always been. But
well,
you know.
I think I just missed my timing today, so
That's okay. I'll forgive you.
Fair. I'm Andre.
And I'm Chris.
And we're glad you joined us this week. We've had somebody decided to go out of town to a state I've yet to go to for work. So we're late again on an episode.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. I'm not trying to take shots. But
no, I mean, that's okay. I understand. This is your opportunity to do that in front of a nationally televised audience.
I try my best. My best.
Yeah. I was in Denver last week for work and for play. No, just for work. But yeah, it was okay. I like Colorado. Like the state is okay. The city of Denver is mostly okay. That's my glowing review, I guess. Of
yeah, I was like trying to figure out where you're going with that.
There's some really good vegan spots. There's a lot of breweries, so that's good if you're into that sort of thing. I got a little bit of time on Friday. I went out with a couple of my coworkers, and we hit a couple of breweries and then went to a vegan restaurant. There's a lot of the places there have at least like some vegan options. Like there's this really awesome place, Earl's, on the 16th Street Mall that has like a plant-based menu, and we went there twice. We went to this place, Ocean Prime, which is like one of the nicer, fancier restaurants there. I think it's in Lattimore Square. And that place is all like seafood and steak. So when I heard the name, I was like, I bet they have tons of vegan options. But they were actually like, hey, you name it. If we've got the ingredients to make it, we'll put it together. And so, overall a good trip. I did bring my podcasting gear with me, so we were able to record an episode. It hasn't been edited and obviously therefore not published yet, but I'm going to be working on that tomorrow. So hopefully I will have that done by the end of this week and then get this one out shortly thereafter. Because I'm not doing that thing again where I get 12 episodes behind and I have Andre like chewing me out every 5 minutes. God, that was
well, that's life. Well, anyway, let's go into some quick hits.
All right.
Quick hits.
All right, so as you may have heard over the weekend, Tom Brady has retired, or at least reports are that he's probably going to retire. So good for him, good for the NFL. I think, it's time somebody else wins some football games. It's either going to be Matt Stafford or Joe Burrow winning the Super Bowl, which I think all of us probably would have taken the bet that wouldn't be the case at the beginning of the season. But
I did watch Matt Stafford play, and I didn't watch the first game, but I tell you what, dude's nice, man.
I'll tell you what.
I didn't like that. He's nice. I think his pocket game is kind of weak, though. But overall, as a quarterback, I think he's a good quarterback. And I've heard a lot of good things about Burrow. I've not watched a lot of his games. I only watched highlights of his game for the championship, for the AFC Championship. And I think he plays pretty consistently.
I think the thing with Burrow that I've grown to admire, is like there's just a certain swagger that he has about him.
Yo, his swag game is on point, yo.
Yeah, and he's very confident in himself, but he seems to also just have an ability to elevate the guys around him, which is, I think, that's always fun to watch when you see the guys that, like, you look at it on paper and you're like, well, they're probably not going to win this game. And that's where I was, at least in the last 2 weeks with the Bengals. The Raiders, I was like, yeah, they should probably beat them.
Low-key, with Cincinnati, we went there one year for nationals for karate with my daughter. And Cincinnati is a beautiful city. Like, we really enjoyed our time there. We were there for a week. It was amazing. And in our hotel, a guy that just got drafted, I actually got his autograph. It's in my office.
Did you go to NC State?
No, he did not go to NC State. But overall, like, that's been my, like, low-key, Cincinnati is one of my dope city lists in the U.S. So really, if you've never been to Cincinnati, you should check it out. It's dope. I have no favorites in this game. Like the last household favorite that we had was the 49ers, because my wife's a 49ers fan, but they just couldn't pull it off. Anyway, next.
As you well know, before we move on to the next one, I am wholeheartedly pulling for the NC State Bengals, a.k.a. the Cincinnati Wolfpack. Major shout-out to Jermaine Pratt and B.J. Hill, two former Wolfpack players who made... B.J. Hill had an incredible interception on a screen pass in the game. And so, yeah, just way to go, guys. Can't wait to watch you play in the Super Bowl.
Next.
I'm getting there. Jeez. Somebody put this button in a stupid place, and I blame it.
Next.
Right. So, I don't know if you heard the news, but Jason Momoa is joining the family. The Fast and Furious family. Apparently taking the place of The Rock. I'm sure he's not just going to, like, literally replace him and play Hobbs, because that would be insane. But
especially because they're going to do Hobbs and Shaw has a sequel coming out.
Right.
So it doesn't
maybe
play
it's
out.
like Hobbs in the multiverse.
You get nothing for that. You will get nothing for that. I will not engage. I refuse to engage.
All right. Well, on a real front, thank you. Any real thoughts on Jason Momoa joining the Fast and Furious? Does this make it better? Does it make it worse? The Rock wasn't coming back, so...
The Fast and Furious is a preposterous, idiotic, dumb waste of time, and I wish they stopped making those damn movies.
But are you going to watch the last?
I am going to watch.
Okay,
I'm going to watch the movie, but I'm going to complain the entire time.
I will do the same thing.
I made up my own word too, preponderous.
I was like that. Ponderous. Yeah, like pompous and ponderous.
It's like, yeah, it's like a preposterous. I was like, well, you made up a word. That was my Bushism. No, I can't with that franchise. I hope Jason Momoa doesn't ruin his career by being in one of these god-awful movies. And as I said before, and I'm going to start publicly saying, I'm not a Vin Diesel fan. So please stop making Fast and Furious movies for everything holy. Next.
All right, so we touched on this slightly earlier, and this kind of actually brings our last two topics together in a way. So I don't know if you saw his post-game press conference, but Joe Burrow had a very nice, I don't even know, it's not a chain, that's a medallion. Like, dude had like a straight up medallion, and he's rocking like the black turtleneck.
Yo.
Which I didn't even realize at the time, but like looking back now, very much like that classic Dwayne Johnson
90s,
with the
90s
fanny pack.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I'm not gonna hate on dude for doing that. I mean, you get points for doing that in public. So I want to give him some love for that. And swag is part of the player. You know, I mean, if you can do those things on and off the field. And I think he's probably going to be a great quarterback. He's done it with what I would call like a high B+ like offensive line, in my opinion.
Yeah, at best.
Yeah. Mad shout out to Burrow. So
did you know that no quarterback has ever won the Heisman, the national championship, and the Super Bowl in their career? And he has the opportunity to do all of those things in 3 years.
I thought you were calling it for that. I'm like, well, let's not.
Oh no, I'm not saying he's done it yet, but I'm just saying he's done the first two. So pretty
but
awesome.
There's but there's been no quarterback that's won 7 Super Bowls. That'll never happen again. Next.
All right, skipping into politics a little bit. Lindsey Graham, a name I haven't had to utter in a while.
Flimsy
Lindsay apparently is upset with his best friend, that
his
fucking
bestie.
guy. And because at a rally, he was like, if I run, because I haven't said I'm going to, so they can't technically like restrain my finances for campaign laws, I might just issue pardons to people that rioted and insurrected on January 6th. What I don't understand about this, two things. One, I thought it was Antifa that had done that. So is he just trying to like cater to the Antifa vote? Or is he admitting that it was actually his supporters that he incited into doing that? And two, I don't even remember what the second thing was. It doesn't matter. Like, this is all ridiculous.
Everything with that statement was wrong. And I think that he's done a pretty good job of, I don't think it's a grift anymore. I think he's just getting paid. He's stacking that cash. The thing about campaign finance, which gets real tricky, is that it's, number one, the rules are so fast and loose on it that you can use that money indefinitely. Yeah. So I think it's just another thing he says in public. But if you, like, I watched a few of the clips. I obviously didn't watch the speech, but nobody really kind of engaged with that. So I think he's waning on just overall support on stupid. So
I hope Who's Stupid is a dying breed in this country. That'd be great.
Well, what makes me feel sad is that, like, I called his influence over, like, political views would die out by the end of the last year. Yeah. And so he's making me run over in my estimation, so I'm kind of pissed.
I mean, it's only February 1st. Like, you're hardly even in the second month here, so I think you'll be okay.
If he can hurry up and help me get closer to my estimation, I will be very happy. But anyway, next.
So breaking news, Tom Brady is not retiring, apparently. Just announced on Twitter. He's coming back, but he's actually going to go play for the Patriots again. They're going to trade Mac Jones for Tom Brady. So just stay tuned for any further developments that we might get in this case.
You know, just everything on CNN is breaking news. Like,
yeah,
they have Duck.
Literally
it's like
everything.
Breaking news. Duck walks across the street. Breaking news. And it's the same story from like 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, it's no longer breaking.
They're worse than my 8-year-old, you know?
Yeah. God.
All right. So this next story is a little weird. So there's a former North Carolina sheriff who is been charged with like 35 felony counts, resulting in like abuse of power and all this stuff while he was a sheriff. He has filed for dismissal of all 35 felonies. But get this, because he wants the Wake district attorney off the case, because the original person, I'm just trying to remember. So it's basically like, yeah.
No, I can't.
But this story is like absolutely ridiculous. So basically, like, the person who was supposed to, or who would have been prosecuting the case, recused themselves because of a conflict of interest, because like they had worked together or something like that. Right. But then in secrecy was helping behind the scenes on this case all along. Like, from the moment that they're like, I recuse myself, they're like, but really, let's fucking get this guy. And so, yeah, like, I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm kind of like, I don't know, maybe this shit is like, maybe he's gonna get off on a technicality here.
He won't even get off on a technicality, because what they'll do is they may send it to the SBI. They may make it like they may get escalated if they're not careful. He keeps dicking around to the DOJ. Because from what I read into that, it's like felonies, and if you don't prosecute at the state level, you still have the federal charges. So,
yeah.
God bless you, Sheriff. Next.
So no, it's all good.
When I read that article, it's like, what the actual hell are we doing here?
Oh, all right. So, as a former Starbucks barista, I found this next story kind of interesting. That there are now 54 stores that are participating in the Starbucks union. I didn't realize that there was a push to unionize for baristas. I understand that they are subject to horrible treatment by the customers on a daily basis. I don't know that there's much Starbucks can really do about that. So, if they're unionizing for better working conditions, you might be SOL. But I don't know. I mean, like, Starbucks was towards Starbucks. Yeah, Starbucks was always towards the top of the like hourly pay rates. at least when I was there. And
they were like at $12 an hour, like I want to say 8 years ago. So,
so I mean, and that's not to say that there isn't still like some need or for unionizing. Like Starbucks is not a great job, and the practices within the company have become significantly more shady than they were when they first started out. I think that's in large part because the founder and everything kind of like moved on from caring. But
no, he didn't move on from caring. He's actually I think he's just sitting on the board. So he has little to no influence on what happens in the company. And that's one of the downsides of becoming a public company. You become beholden to the stock market and shareholders. So I don't know. I'm not like, I think I've been kind of reevaluating my disdain for unions over the last few weeks. But I also think people shouldn't be dicks. I went to the grocer today, and no joke, it was like there was no bread, and I go to the deli and the baker, I'm like, hey, you don't have any sub rolls? And like the baker didn't come in. I'm like, okay. And I'm walking through the store, I go to check out, and the clerk's name was Karen. And I'm like, hey Karen, I want to apologize to you on behalf of the entire country, because your name is like just a target, right?
Did she appreciate that?
She really did, actually. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. She's like, yeah, it's been crazy. And people do kind of make jokes because her name is Karen. I'm like, what are we doing? So,
did she then call the cops on you for being black in her store?
Yeah, she did. Now she's she's actually from Queens. So I was like, oh, I'm from Harlem. And so we had a good talk, and I'm like, yeah, I thought my mom moved me away from the crazy, but it seemed to have found us in the South.
Oh, it's everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go.
Well, I'm sorry. I mean, hopefully people stop wigging out in Starbucks. I mean, maybe it's because the coffee's like $8.
Yeah, I mean, it could be.
I mean, that would piss me off too. I'm like, I just want a large coffee, and it's $8.
I thought you would really appreciate this
one. I love this one. Let me just go head first. Hey, Elon, fuck you. You're a failure. 58,000 cars are being recalled because your fucking cars will ignore a fucking stop sign.
No, it's a California stop. That's what they taught them.
So Elon Musk, for everything holy, get off your high horse.
I just want to say a couple. No, I mean, you're fine. Like it's warranted. I mean, we've made our stance on Elon Musk pretty clear over the years. I will say I don't think he's the one who was like, nah, fuck it, let him roll through the stop sign. Like somebody else made that decision. But ultimately, his name, well, not his name, but he's the guy that's at the top of the food chain when it comes to the company. So he does bear the ultimate responsibility for letting those things go out the door with that functionality in place. So
the curveball for this, for me, is the fact that he got super pissed because Ford and GM have really stepped up their game. I can't remember. Rivian is another electric truck manufacturer.
Where's his electric truck, by the way?
It's not. Yeah, it was supposed to be out last year. They missed production schedules again. And the thing that's different and why they're getting the press, and I think this is what pisses them off, is, and if anybody out there in the internet, correct me if I'm wrong, they are not taking tax subsidies. That one of the foundations of Tesla's success wasn't the company itself. It was the fact that most of it was funded by taxes. So that is another thing in my, it's a layered, I don't, all right, let me back up. I don't dislike Elon Musk the person. I don't like the persona that he has in the public because it's not warranted and he hasn't earned it. So the part of Tesla's success is not the brains and genius of Elon Musk. The company was funded by taxes. So when people say he's an innovator, I mean, he's also just a great showman. And every time they miss production schedules, because it's funded by taxes, his company doesn't get the negative benefit that a normal company would suffer. And that infuriates me. It's like, yo, but his press he believes his own press, but he knows his own dirt. So anyway, get those cars pulled off and stop using your stupid, stop driving your car without your hands, idiots. But I do know that Cadillac or GM, actually, their hands-free driving is actually pretty good. It's been getting a lot of great reviews.
That's the one they have the commercial for with the clapping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like the commercial.
Commercial's bad play because some idiot's going to do that and boom. But anyway, next.
All right, no more breaking news. Tom Brady is going to be actually taking over Roger Goodell's job. He will be the new NFL commissioner. He'll be the first player to literally ever step off the field and in the commissioner's suite. So, congratulations, all hail Tom Brady.
Next. And the real news on Tom Brady has decided to retire. So, congrats to his family for like having a full-time dad and husband at home.
It's about time, you freaking bum. You're my number one quarterback of all time in my top 10 list. So I mean, I've never pulled for Tom Brady. I've never wanted to see him win because he was always standing in the way of my teams winning more. And it's hard to like a guy like that, but we talked about this.
My team's got 3 rings.
Okay, but your teams have 3 rings.
No, Denver's got 3 rings.
Okay, Denver's got 3. I thought you meant like.
And actually, the Giants have.
Era.
Oh yeah, they still have. No, they only have 1 in the Tom Brady.
They have 3.
They have 1 in the Tom
Between
Brady.
your 2 teams, the Giants and the.
Oh yeah. So all in all, I'm still beating your.
Yeah, my 1. I have 1.
Yeah.
1. All right. Anyways.
That's it with the quick hits.
Tom Brady. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.